look, my opinion of AI has changed a lot. I used to think that it was, just the new thing, something insignificant and harmless almost, but that's not the case. It's really not. It's so much bigger than that, and it took over the last year probably. I've learned a lot about the impact of data centers, like the water supply usage that AI has, and even beyond that, I think even more importantly, the negative effects that it has on us as humans, on our minds and our brains, because it's one of these things, right, where it's so new. Even now, I mean, it's been out since 2022 publicly, and in 4 years, that's such a short amount of time in a civilizationary sort of metric. It's such a short amount of time that we really don't know the full impact that it's going to have on us psychologically. Outsourcing all our thoughts and opinions and tasks to a machine, it's just going to be super weird, especially kids growing up, 5-year-old kids who never known the world without any AI. It's just untold and just unknowable what that's going to do when they grow up, right? It's probably not going to be good. But that's not the point of this video, right? That's not the point of this video. I don't want to support AI. I really don't. I think the industry is pretty terrible. I think you can call me a hater, but I'm kind of preying on the downfall of these AI companies. I just want to go back to a time when none of this stuff existed, because we can't ignore it. It's impossible to ignore. It's literally everywhere, and it has been for years. And it's getting to a point where it's so advanced and it's so baked into everything, like algorithms and businesses and just everything around us that's digital. 9 times out of 10 in 2026, it's got AI baked into it, and so we can't avoid it. And despite the theory that it's all one big bubble and it's gonna pop, people have been saying that for years, and it's just not happened. So I'm starting to doubt now if it's really gonna go away. I think what's more likely, it becomes more and more normalized and accepted in society, right? Especially when the generation that's growing up now, when they get older, they're gonna know no different world. They're not gonna want a world without AI. My generation, people older than me, we remember what it was like before. We remember doing things the hard way, I guess. Not that hard, because I'm only 20, so I'm sure people older than me would say that we've got it easy. But yeah, it feels like it's not going to go away, and there's just going to be no avoiding it, and avoiding it is going to become even more impossible. And so it's we might just have to learn to live with it, and that it just doesn't sit right with me, really, because it just feels so wrong and so fake to me. And so if it becomes accepted, or when it becomes accepted and normalized, it's gonna just be the norm, right? It's gonna be what everyone uses. And even now, it feels like not using AI is such a disadvantage, for example, for content creation, people write their scripts with AI. People make their thumbnails, make their you can do almost every part of the process exclusively with AI now, and a lot of people do, I'm sure. Maybe even most people do. And I think that just sucks, because they're the people who get rewarded, right? They're the people who can crank out more content, the people who perfectly get things tailored to the audience or whatever. And it just feels like being the person that isn't using AI in this process like this, because I don't agree with it morally, it just feels like I'm gonna get outpaced by all the competition that are using it. It's just the power of it, right? Making content without AI feels like being in a war with spears and rocks and fighting against an enemy with AK-47s and tanks and shit. That's kind of how it feels. I don't know, we're just gonna get left in the dust, those of us who still want to preserve the human way and not, get all our ideas and stuff from machines. Sometimes I wonder why I should sometimes I wonder why I should even spend my time, you know, improving it, writing scripts and thinking of ideas when my hard work doesn't even amount to an instant outcome coming from a prompt. It's just so demotivating. And yeah, the logical solution, right, what you're probably saying to me is just use the AI then. If you can't beat him, join him, right? But I just don't want to. It feels cheap and fake, and I don't know, I just don't feel as proud of my work when I know that it's not really come from me. And like I said before, it's also a moral issue, right? Like the data centers and the water insecurity that it causes, and just all that stuff, and I just don't like the companies. They just feel shady, and you know, there's just something, this whole AI movement, it just feels like there's something nefarious about it, you know, and we all feel like this. There's a lot of people who have this same feeling, but most people are just like, if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them. And then, you know, they contribute to that, and I'm guilty for that, right? Obviously, I've used AI before, and I continue to use it to some extent, and, you know, my opinion might change on this in the future. And you know, when it becomes super normalized, it might just be a part of life like the internet is now. But this is just how I feel now, you know. It's still in the early stages of this. I just don't think it looks that bright for art and content and all stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I've used AI before. We all have, especially a couple of years ago when I was more ignorant to its effects. But regardless, I don't think... One thing I wouldn't do is pay for it, because that directly contributes to keeping these companies afloat. I would never pay for ChatGPT or anything like that. I can't say I would never, but because, you know, you never know what could happen, but right now, I would never do that, you know? It just feels like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, what's the solution here? I wish I had one. I really wish I did have one. I guess the solution is to stop bitching. That sounds like a reasonable thing, but I don't know. I just thought that this was something I wanted to get off my chest, and it might be relatable. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about this subject, because it's a very interesting one. It's a very complicated subject right now, and I just wonder what the future is going to look like. Like, will this AI stuff just be a normal part of life, like the internet? And what does that mean for art and for content and for, you know, expression? Because a lot of people say it's just a tool, but it's a lot more than a tool, you know. Like, people say it's comparable to the printing press, right? But the printing press really is a tool, because you still write the words that get printed. Yes, it can mass produce it, but with AI, with large language models, it doesn't just duplicate your work, you know. It replaces you as the creative mind that originated the work. That's the difference, and that's why I just feel uneasy about it. And it's just a strange thing, man. But I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Goodbye.